It's okay to have expectations. In fact, most times we can't help but have expectations, but it's important that we assess them to make sure that we are being realistic. We are never disappointed by what we find in life. We are only disappointed by what we expect to find. In as much as our wants and needs are valid, it's important that we expect less from people. This will allow us experience less stress, anxiety, frustration, anger, offense, and many other negative emotions. We can expect things like respect or room for us to be ourselves, but we cannot allow our feelings to be based on whether we get these things or not, because we will only be setting ourselves up for disappointments. Hi beautiful people, welcome on board to Woman of Valor. Process your emotions intentionally. This is a platform where we empower, motivate, and sharpen each other. A platform to help reconnect you back to yourself and back to God, your creator. A platform where women of valor and people of valor are made. So today I would like us to talk about 5 things to stop expecting lest you get disappointed. Number 1, stop expecting people to know your wants and needs. Stop expecting people to know how you feel. If you cannot boldly express yourself, if you cannot boldly communicate your wants, needs, or feelings, then no one else will. That's why learning to communicate is very important. It's important that we learn how to communicate using the right words and the right tone. Communication is not necessarily inborn, but it's a skill that can be acquired. Most times we just expect people to know what we want. We just expect people to know our boundaries. We just expect people to know things, but people are not magicians. And your wants and needs are not necessarily another person's wants and needs. Wants, needs, and feelings vary. I grew up in a home where communication was a problem. My mom would not tell you what she wants. She will not tell you how she feels, but she expects you to know. I remember at home, one time my mom, she came back home and she just mentioned that she has a meeting at about 5 p.m. We were sitting watching TV. She got into her room, took a nap. She woke up at about 6 and she started shouting at us. I was wondering. She was like, it's her fault that she was going late for her meeting because we were aware that she had a meeting at 5 and we could not come and wake her up. I'm like, but you didn't even tell us to wake you up. Why would I come and wake you up if you have not told me to wake you up? And I realized that somehow I actually grew up with that habit. I grew up expecting people to just know what to do. I grew up expecting people to just know what I need or how I feel or what I want. I had to learn the hard way. I was literally always miserable in my relationships because people will never ever know what I want or they'll never ever know what I need. I was not able to properly communicate my feelings. I was not able to properly lay out my expectations and all that. And it always created conflict. It always created strife. And it was just unnecessary because it is simple. If you can just use your mouth, communicate, say it out, lay your cards on the table, let people know, then it's going to be easy. And remember, you are your number 1 responsibility. If you cannot advocate for yourself, then no one else will. Number 2, stop expecting people to fit your idea of who you think they are. Even kids from the same womb don't necessarily look alike or behave the same. So how would you expect people to fit your idea of who you think they should be or who you think they are? It doesn't make sense. We all need room to flourish. Our individuality, our diversity is what makes us beautiful. Imagine a world where we all thought the same, we all had the same perspective on things. Growth will be hindered. Let me just make this clear. When I talk about appreciating people's individuality and accepting them for who they are, I'm not talking about bad behaviors and toxic patterns. Please, this does not count. There is no such thing as that's the way I am when you know very well that it's a bad habit, or that's the way I am when it's a toxic pattern that is involved. No, you can do better. We all can do better. It's so important that we start seeing people for who they are and appreciating their individuality, because most times we cling to people's potential. We are not looking at their individuality. We are not looking at who they are or who they are proving themselves to be, but we are looking at their potential. That is what they can be. And most times they are very, very far from that potential. So it's important that we stop setting ourselves up for disappointments. It's okay to see people's potential even when they don't see it, but that is for you to decide if you are willing to stand by them while they find themselves and align with that potential. Because most times we get blinded by the potential, and even when they are proving themselves to be who they are, we are not seeing, we are looking at that potential. That is a catalyst for disappointments. If you want to stand by them, support them while they find themselves or while they journey towards aligning themselves with that potential, that's fine. But just make sure that it's a conscious choice. Stop trying to impose their potential on them, even when they are showing you that it's just a potential and they are not there yet. Remember, it is okay to let go and align ourselves with people whose individuality resonates with us. Number 3, stop expecting new results from old habits or behaviors. Self-assessment is key to constant evolution. Self-assessment is the act of evaluating oneself, attitudes, or patterns. This evaluation helps you to do better. It helps you to constantly grow. It helps you to improve your strengths and be mindful of your weaknesses so that you can work on them. People who never ever self-assess, never ever take out time to try to improve their strengths. They never ever take out time to try to work on their weaknesses. Hence, they are always the same, never changing, never getting better, never growing. To get new results in life, we must do new things we have never done before. Expecting new results from old patterns and behaviors is setting ourselves up for disappointments, because it will never ever happen. It's not just enough to stop a bad habit or to stop doing something. What are you replacing that thing with? What profitable thing took the place of that bad habit? That's why self-assessment is key. It helps us to identify areas of weaknesses or failures so that we can adopt new habits and do better, hence producing better results. Number 4, stop expecting loyalty from people who can give you honesty. Expecting loyalty from people who can give you honesty is a catalyst for disappointments, because it will never ever happen. So before you start expecting loyalty from people, strive to know their character. How honest are they? How much integrity do they have? Are they aligned with their values? Do they even have values? It's important that we know these things. Remember, we are not disappointed by what we find in life. We are only disappointed by what we expect to find. Somebody cannot be lying over petty things, yet you expect them to be loyal to you. It's impossible, because obviously they don't even have what it takes to be loyal. To be loyal, you need to be truthful. But people who are not truthful, they are not honest, can never ever be loyal. Loyalty and lies do not go together. Only a truthful person, an honest person, can be loyal. So before you start expecting loyalty from people, how truthful are they? Number 5, stop expecting people to notice or repay your good deeds. Many people have stopped doing good because they were expecting their reward from people. It is fundamental to know that only God can repay your good deeds. And if it's God that is repaying your good deeds, then He can repay you anyhow. It might not even be through the person whom you did good to. God can still repay you through another person. Expecting applause or a reward from people will only lead to disappointment. Anyone who is relying on people's applause or reward or appreciation to do good will eventually stop doing good, because humans can be ungrateful. But when you understand that doing good was God's idea and not man's idea, your acts of kindness becomes independent of people's response. And we start seeing kindness as a practice rather than a state of being. The Bible says, do good without ceasing, for in due time you will reap if you do not faint. Meaning God knew that it was possible for us to give up. He knew that when we are mindful of people's responses, when we are mindful about the applaud or the appreciation that people give, then we will eventually give up, because not everybody will applaud you, not everybody will appreciate you, not everybody will reward you for your kind gestures. But God says we should not give up, because He alone sees our efforts and He alone can repay us. Learn to do more and expect less. It does not mean that if someone appreciates you or if someone applauds you, you should not accept the compliment, or you should not accept the reward, or you should not accept the applaud. If it comes, fine, accept it. But when your mind is independent of the reward or the applaud or the appreciation, then people's response have no influence over how you behave. It means that whether they appreciate you or not, whether they reward you or not, whether they applaud you or not, you will still do what you do. You will still do good. You will still be kind. You will still show love, because you understand that you answer to God and not man. We have come to the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope that this video will empower you, motivate you, and sharpen you. I really hope that this video will put you on your feet and cause you to be the change that you want to see. I hope that with the things that I've shared in this video, you'll be able to practice them and bloom into the best possible version of yourself. So go out and manifest. Be the change you want to see. The world is waiting for you. I love you, and there is nothing you can do about it.